Shalom, my friends. A moment of truth. I worry about you and about your families and loved ones. I know that we worry about each other. We are a single community here, a community of those committed to entering the 2,000-year-old conversation about the meaning of Torah in our lives. We are family, and family loves, and family cares. My friend and a distinguished physician and medical researcher, Dr. Uzi Blackmon, shared the following with me this week. I actually loved it. Dr. Margaret Mead once said that the first sign of civilization in an ancient culture was a femur that had been broken and then healed. Mead explained that in the animal kingdom, if you break your leg, you die. You cannot run from danger, get to the river for a drink, or hunt for food. You are meat for prowling beasts. No animal survives a broken leg long enough for that bone to heal. A broken femur that has healed is evidence that someone has taken the time to stay with the one who fell, has bound up the wound, has carried the person to safety, and has tended the person through recovery. Helping someone else through difficulty, Mead said, is where civilization starts. I'm going to repeat that. Helping someone else through difficulty is where civilization starts. Totally love it. The following prayer for healthcare workers was written by Rabbi Ayelet Cohn of the Shalom Center. Rabbi Cohn is one of those distinguished social justice warriors who have essays in my latest book, Deepening the Dialogue. This is what she wrote. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all who put themselves at risk to care for the sick, physicians and nurses and orderlies, technicians and home health aides and EMTs and pharmacists, and bless especially any individual or other categories of health workers who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day to tend to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear and sustain them. Source of all breath, healer of all beings, protect them and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health that they may bring healing. Help them know again a time when they can breathe without fear. Bless the sacred work of their hands. May this plague pass from among us speedily and in our day, and let us say, Amen. Thank you, Ayelet. Beautiful. Let me also mention that Barry Weiss has a powerful essay about healthcare workers in the Thursday morning New York Times. A must read. Permit me a suggested read. Okay. Our Sedra is VaYikra, Leviticus chapter 1, verse 1 and following. And so we began our study of the third book of the Pentateuch, the Torah, the 5 books of Moses. Rabbi Shai Held is amazingly direct. I smiled a lot when I read this. When he considers the study of most of the contents of the book of Leviticus, I'm quoting, "Around this time of the year, the eyes of many shul-going Jews began to glaze over. Leviticus seems so utterly foreign, the rituals and practices it describes so alien, the religious vision underlying them so obscure that connecting to it sounds impossible." Close quote. But I quietly mumbled to myself, Amen, brother. I would only add that working with B'nai Mitzvah, who were expected to write a meaningful, personal, inspirational Devar Torah about many of the weekly portions in Leviticus is a challenging pedagogic experience. Now, the name Leviticus is a signpost that we are going to be studying the minutiae of those sacrifices over which the Levites presided in biblical times. Peace offerings, meal offerings, festive offerings, guilt offerings, meal offerings, burnt offerings. Some offerings are mainly designed to help sustain the Kohanim and the Leviim, who own no property of their own. Some are mainly preludes to large public picnics to be held outside the precincts of the Jerusalem temple. Some are created to help us move through deeply challenging moments in our lives. But let's face it, the regulations for each of the various kinds of sacrifices just don't appear to be as vibrant and as interesting to us as all of those narratives and stories that we've been reading in Genesis and in most of Exodus. Over the years, I have repeated my conviction that fundamental to Judaism is a binary vision of the world. Binary. An overarching vision. Binary approach is quite compelling, even though, truth be told, I have a narrowly focused, strong, profound disagreement with one of the core black and white assertions in Genesis, the assertion that humankind is either male or female. It is far more wondrous and diverse than that. Set that aside. To the point, the binary vision which mostly controls the thinking inside the Torah. Held points out that the world comes into being through divisions, this and that. Earth and firmament, light and darkness, land and water, day and night, Shabbat and the other days of the week, good and evil, mitzvah and sin, holy and profane, Israel and all of the other nations, permitted, forbidden, kosher, treif, milk, meat, life, death, order, chaos, corned beef sandwiches with mayonnaise, corned beef sandwiches with mustard. Divisions. The Torah does not hesitate to make choices or to take sides. It chooses life over death. It chooses Shabbat over the everyday. It chooses good over evil. It chooses order over chaos. And Leviticus, with its sometimes overwhelming obsession with every detail as to how the sacrificial process is to be carried out, is a celebration of a highly regulated order. What a fascinating insight Held came up with. Really interesting. Life ordinarily is far more chaotic than orderly. Surprise and innovation constantly compete with the calmness of the status quo. How many times have we heard someone say, but only yesterday she was fine, but then, or we thought that our love would just last forever, but then, or our business looked stable and secure. We worked hard and we were happy. But then chaos is confusing, chaos is threatening, chaos is deeply troubling. Chaos can be malevolent and dangerous. Another little caveat here. Let me be clear that being a bit unsettled and confused and being battered periodically by the random, all that can be marvelous stimuli for creativity. I give you that. Much of human achievement arose out of what Held calls life's messiness. Another phrase, I love it, life's messiness. Life is messy. Leviticus in its totality seeks to create one place, a place that it calls sacred, in which life is orderly and secure. That's what the Mishkan, the Tabernacle, is all about. That's what the details of sacrificial worship are all about. Leviticus is an effort to create opportunities in the midst of chaos to bring our lives together, to integrate our individual experiences with a much larger world, to grant us stability, reliability, and a vision of hope when all seems confusion and noise. This understanding of Leviticus helps me comprehend something about myself. I love matbea hatfilah, the standard traditional order of the prayers in a standard Jewish religious service. It is, in fact, comforting for me, calming, precious, for me to be able to sink back into my seat, hear, feel, respond to the familiar flow, the order of worship. It's a great time. It's one of the things I love about going to services. The Hebrew word for completeness, shlemut, of course, shares a common root with shalom. When I'm at ease, when my world around me, like in that prayer service, appears well integrated and functioning, shalom, then I'm at peace. Shlemut to shalom. We study VaYikra. We enter a world of order, of structure, of manifold certainties. We can strip away any sense that we would ever want to actually live like that again. Okay, we know that. But we know that Judaism, wise enough to hold that such a world contains elements of aspiration. We don't have to go back to animal sacrifice for that. Even while the world outside is being ripped apart by a malevolent virus, we can enter, even if but briefly, a metaphoric Mishkan and touch a world that reflects both order and purpose. My friends, maybe that's what holiness is all about. And maybe that's what's having a belief in the existence of God is all about. Shabbat Shalom, my friends. As you have been doing, please continue. Stay in touch with me. I'll try to respond as always. And remember that the hottest Jewish ritual this season is the virtual home Seder. You can do it. You can do it. Zoom. You can do it. Have a calm, sustaining, healthy week. God bless.